Hey up, right, today I'm going to show you how to make a matrix and template for use with clear protection film on motorcycles. Every motorcycle has areas on it which are painted or sometimes maybe chrome, which are prone to scratching, and it's heartbreaking when they start to pick up marks. I suppose one of the most common ones is a scratch protector for the tank. You can use this method to do that, but in this case what we've got is the foot peg hangers on the CL500. Now I noticed when I got the test bike in a few months ago that they were in particularly bad shape. I think that bike had something like 400 riders during its lifetime, and it was scratched to bits. It looked really bad, and I've had comments from owners on the channel that say they've encountered similar problems, and I've got to admit I am very conscious occasionally when I'm riding it that the heel of my boot is rubbing up against these areas here on the foot hanger, which is, as I say, particularly prone to scratching. One of the main problems, the sort of first sign that it's getting marred, is that it starts to polish up, because it's a matte paint, but it starts to polish up through the boots rubbing against it. Now this Etek transparent protection film, I bought this 10 years ago. It was it's on a 3-meter roll. I've used this on just about every bike I've had. I've also used it on cars. I mean, I learned about this stuff when I was in the paint trade years ago, because the door thresholds in cars were prone to scratching through people catching the heels on it as they got in and out of the car. So I sort of learnt this masking tape trick to create a matrix for the actual part that you're fitting it on, so that you can use that matrix and transfer it onto a template to actually cut this out exactly and get a factory finished sort of professional look. Now the beauty about making your own templates and cutting them yourself, I know especially with tank protectors, you can buy ready-made ones from some manufacturers. The thing is, things don't always go according to plan, as I've proved on this channel over the years. Sometimes you get it wrong and you ruin the protector, or it doesn't look particularly great when you put it on. And I mean, I don't know what they cost, 10 or 15 pounds. You're then looking at either living with it or you have to buy another one. With this, if you get it wrong, you've got the template. It's literally a 10 or 15 minute job to cut out a new protector and start again from fresh. It's a brilliant way of protecting your bike. I'm going to get on with this as quickly as I possibly can. Let's get on with it. Now the equipment that you're going to need for this is obviously your transparent protection film, a straight metal edge, obviously a steel ruler's best, but anything that you can find that'll do the job and press into service is fine. You may occasionally need to get some nice neat circular shapes cut into your your template before you go ahead. Anything from coins, bottle tops. This is some sort of spacer off one of the bikes from the past. I've got no idea what it's off, but that means you can get a nice sort of circular cutout with the radius that you're looking for the job that you're actually doing. Glasses if you need them. 1-inch masking tape on a motorcycle. Generally speaking, 1 inch is enough, unless you're doing a tank protector or something like that. Then maybe 2-inch will be more appropriate. A good sharp pointed craft knife or DIY knife, a marker pen, Sharpie in this case, and a pair of scissors for trimming the matrix up, so you've not got too much material to work with. I'll show that to you as we go on. In addition to that, you're going to need some sort of cleaning material, a workshop wipe. You can use kitchen roll, but make sure it's the good kitchen roll that doesn't fall to pieces as soon as it gets wet. You don't want little bits stuck all over the surface that you're working on. And some sort of cleaner. Now I use pre-paint wipe because this is the kind of job that it's designed for. You can use isopropyl alcohol. Don't use rubbing alcohol because it does often contain oils in it when it's for use on human skin. which obviously could prevent adhesion. On top of that, you might need some sort of lubricant when you're putting the actual film onto the bike itself, especially when you've got complicated sort of shapes to fit it onto. Lining up is crucial. Just ordinary tap water in a spray bottle with just 1 drop of ordinary household washing up liquid. That just acts as a lubricant, and it slows the tacking of the actual film down, so you get the opportunity to be able to move it around. Now, cleanliness is the key to getting a nice transparent fixing onto these sort of components. You know, I've sprayed some maintenance spray on this because it was washed the other day. That is obviously going to stop you know, any adhesive either from the masking tape or from the actual film itself from sticking. So make sure that you clean this area up thoroughly before you start, and then after you've created your template, clean it all again to make sure that, you know, any residual adhesive from the masking tape doesn't mar the finish once it's done. The main job at the moment is just to get it clean enough so that you get a good fixing with the masking tape. Right, so as I say, you can use isopropyl alcohol to do this job if you want to. That's probably the most cost-effective way, and get that from, I don't know, chemists or whatever. It's just to get rid of any oils or waxes or other protectants that might stop it from sticking. I notice I've already got a little chip out of the top there. Unfortunately, that is an area we're not going to be able to cover with this method, but you know, we can only do as much as we can do. Now, looking at this, we've got a big delve out here. There's little point trying to cut one big piece that'll fit in there, because that's just spot ball for coming unstuck in the future. There's no, and you know, it's out of the way of your heel as well, you can't damage that, so there's no point trying to do it all in one piece to fill that area there. So I'll do it in 2 parts. Now, the other thing is, we've got this socket here where there's a fastener. There's not enough meat around the top of here to get a fixing that's not going to come undone. So what we're going to have to do is cut it off here, which will leave that exposed, but you know, we're doing it as best we can. It is simply not going to stick properly around this top edge. So what I found some sort of spacer off one of the bikes that I can use when it actually comes to cutting the template, to get a nice neat radius there to make it look professional. You know, it depends. I mean, you know, you can use this on any motor vehicle, any bike, on any component. Just find what is going to work. It could be a coin, a bottle top, a jar top, anything that will just, you know, give you the right radius to give it a nice professional look. So now we've got that cleaned up, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a matrix for this part here and a matrix for that part there, and do it in 2 parts. So you just get your masking tape when I can find the end. So now this is quite thin, flimsy stuff, so that the whole point of this is to layer it good just past where you need to be. I'll probably cut some bits out on this so it's not too long for you. That's too short, so it can go that way. Total of 3 layers on here now. Make sure it's all stuck down well, and with your finger just press down over all the areas where you've got an edge. There's no point, I don't think, really trying to do this very top edge. I don't think it'll stick on there, but just go all the way around and press it well into place so you can feel all the edges. I mean, this one's a little bit dodgy here. We'll see what we can do with that. Now, taking a marker pen as accurately as you can, just mark where those edges are. You're just sort of tracing the edge of the component. Got a little bit. Now you're going to have to make your protection film just a little bit smaller than this part. You don't want it going right to the edges. It's a little bit difficult doing this on camera. I mean, it doesn't matter if you go wrong when you're marking it. Because we're going to tidy this up. So that, I reckon, is about the right shape, feeling around on there. Actually, we could maybe go a bit further back on this edge. And we're going to tidy this up with a steel ruler before we actually cut it. Right, so when you make the template, you're going to be using it as a mirror image to actually cut out the plastic. So mark this with an F for the front, make sure it looks like an F. And that is now ready to peel off. Now the other thing I didn't mention that we're going to need is a piece of thin cardboard. What I've found in the past works quite well is those sort of cardboard envelopes that you get from Amazon. I mean, you can use you know, crafting cardboard or something like that, but it's better to use something that is free if you can get it. And this is the reason why you put 3 layers on, because if this had just been 1 layer of masking tape, this would probably tear as we're taking it off. So you put 3 layers on to give it the strength so that it will peel off in one piece. And there we go. That's your matrix ready to transfer onto your template. Right, so just an ordinary, you know, one of those sort of thin cardboard Amazon envelopes that you get things delivered in. There's no point spending money on crafting cardboard when you've got stuff like this just laying around. So just cut a piece out, put my glasses on so I'll take a figure off. A good sharp knife is essential for this. You don't want any ripping or tearing while you're making your template. So there we go. That's you know, robust enough to make a template. Just what you need. So what I'm going to do is I'll try and get as many as we can out of this. Notice we've got a bit there that we don't want. Get rid of that. Right. So now what we need to do is stick this down as firmly as we can onto the paper or cardboard. Now I've had a look at the the actual part, that these are all straight lines apparently, but what I'm going to do, I'm just going to err on the side of caution initially. We might need to trim this down. So just carefully cut it out. This is the awkward bit that I'm not sure about, because it was quite a complicated shape and it was difficult to get it to form around it properly, so we'll see when we get to it. Now we've got a curve here which I'm hoping that circular bit that I've got will work on this. I need to try and get it as neat and tidy as you can, because it's like I say, it looks about perfect actually. It's like I say, you want it to look as professional as you possibly can. Now, all being well, I mean, you don't need to use a steel roller for this. You can, any metal straight edge, you know, plastic or wood, you're able to cut into it with the knife and then everything goes adrift. But I don't press quite hard enough. There we go. So now we've got a template cut. This is the side that you will actually put onto the backing paper of the tape, in order to, because it's going to be like a mirror image. If you used it that way around on the back, it would be the wrong way around and it wouldn't fit. So this is actually, let's put a B on there. This is actually the back. Now what you'll notice is we've got some sharp edges all the way around there. When it comes to cutting out your plastic film, sharp edges like this are things that, you know, things like cloths or maybe even, you know, your trousers will catch on and you'll peel it up at the edges and the film won't last very long. So we need to round all these off slightly, see how it looks. I am a little bit worried about this bit here. In fact, I mean, I already think that's probably too big, because this is quite a complicated area. That's a bit better. It's this top edge that I'm mainly concerned about. Right, I can see actually, you know, we need to trim some off the edge of there. The rest of it's pretty good. Right, hopefully this will be it now. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Right, this stuff is incredibly economical. I must have 2 meters left on here. It's like I said, I bought this about 10 years ago and I've used it on loads of jobs. What we need first of all is, we don't want to be dealing with an entire piece. We want to use it as economically as possible. So just snip the piece off. There we go. Now that is the side that is actually provides the protection. This is the back. Now if we cut that out like that, it would be back to front and it wouldn't work on the bike. It would be the wrong way around. You wouldn't be able to stick it on. So we need to put this onto the back. It just need to be so you want the back facing up on the backing paper, not the front. And just carefully follow the lines. The templates are usually good for 3 or 4 goes before you've damaged them beyond use. So what I'm going to do now, that's your part ready to stick on. I'm just going to neaten off any sharp edges. So we've not got any sharp corners to catch. Because you can guarantee these bits, you know, when you drain your bike off, these are the bits that you're going to catch your drying towel on or something like that, and over a period of time it starts peeling off and you've got to do it all again. You want it to last as long as you can. Right, so there's your film cut to shape. I mean, you know, it's not been stamped out with a die like you know, factory produced ones are. So to some extent it might look a little bit rough, but once this is stuck down it becomes almost invisible. So it looks fine. Right, so we can offer it up now. See whether I've got it right or not. And you know, you need to have a bit of spare time to do a job like this. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I am happy with that. So we'll clean this off again, and we'll get on to the sticking part. Yeah, just a drop of washing up liquid. It just gives you a bit of time to be able to move this around and manipulate it. Theoretically, this should slide around a little bit because you don't want it to stick fast immediately, and this just interrupts. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. This just interrupts the adhesive from attaching straight away. So, bit of fresh. Just spread it out in all directions. Now this, because we've wet it, it might cause a little bit of misting underneath, but sort of start in the middle and work outwards. That misting, as it settles down over the next day or so, should disappear. You can use something like a credit card, or I don't know, one of those spatulas that you use for spreading body filler, that kind of thing. That's what I used to use, because I used to have loads of those. I don't have any now. Make sure it's all well pressed down, and what we've done now is we've actually pressed all that water out from underneath this. So the adhesive is now stuck down onto the paint. And you might get a little bit of misting underneath, but as it dries and settles down, that should disappear. It doesn't always, but you know, that's taking what is a pretty complicated shape and giving you what I think is quite a professional finish. That stuff, tough as nails, it's going to protect it from your heel. When it eventually gets chewed up, you know, you can just make another one. You've got the template to just do another one straight away. So yeah, the job's a good one. I'm pleased with that. Like I say, you can use a spatula or something. I mean, I generally found a cloth is as good as anything else. But give that 24 hours before you try washing the bike or you spray any maintenance sprays on it or anything like that. It's shiny rather than being matte like the rest of the bike, but that eventually will shine up and scratch anyway. I mean, I've shown you the photographs of the mess that happens with these components in time with use. You know, it's the lesser of two evils, I think. So that's it. What I'll do now is I'll do the rest, but not on camera to save time, because, as I say, I was meant to be filming this yesterday, and I was waiting for a delivery in the particular courier that was delivering it. If I leave a note on the door saying I'm working around the back, can you please bring it around the back? They have a tendency to just take it back to the depot. Right, so I mean, I've ended up having to rush this a little bit because I should have been editing over an hour ago. So yeah, I've got the templates cut. I can come back to this at another time. I've got the templates cut so I can redo this whenever I need to. The complicated one was this last one, because we've got to get around that. There's no point trying to stick it in there, it won't stay. So I didn't get that quite right, but like I say, I was rushing, and that's the key to this. Leave yourself plenty of time to do this job. And right at the last minute, I had a couple of bits of grip blew up and stuck at that top end. So yeah, I'm not entirely happy with that one, but you know, for demonstration purposes, I think it serves a purpose. And as I say, I've got the templates there now, so that I can recut these in the future if I need to. Meanwhile, the paintwork on this is all protected, and the job's a good one. I haven't done the other side yet because it's like I say, I should have filmed this yesterday and things got in the way. I couldn't get it done, so I've been left with the task of filming it and editing it and getting it uploaded ready for tomorrow morning. So I've just completely run out of time, especially this last one. It isn't quite as good as I would have liked it to have been. I've got a rough edge on this bottom bit here as well, but like I said, take your time with it. There's no need to rush. Give yourself, I mean, this has taken me a couple of hours, maybe 2.5 hours to do this side, and that's running about messing about with the camera, moving the camera around and you know, refocusing and setting the light and everything. So you won't have to contend with that. You can just get on with it. So you know, this is quite a complicated job at the end of the day. It's not a job you should be rushing. I shouldn't have rushed it, but it's like I say, you know, when you're putting this content out, things don't always go according to plan. But you know, those surfaces are protected now. You know, if you compare that to you know, what that test bike looked like, that's not going to happen to this because it's all covered. I mean, this area here is a little bit exposed, but there is absolutely no point trying to cut that round there because it quite simply won't work. I know that from experience. Right, so yeah, I've still got loads of this stuff yet left. Gonna last me until I die, I think. So that's the masking tape trick. You know, making a masking tape matrix, transferring that to make a template. Anybody can do this. It doesn't matter if you get it wrong first time. This stuff is cheap as chips. I'll leave a link for it in the video description down below, or something similar if this isn't available. Like I say, I've had this 10 years now. So you can get some yourself, and it will last you a lifetime. So you can, you know, get on, you know, any vehicle that you've got, whether it be a car, a motorcycle, but whatever. And you can protect these vulnerable areas from damage. When it comes to selling it, bit of heat from a hairdryer, peel it off, clean it, and it's as good as new. And like I say, once you've got your templates, you can redo this any time. It's easy peasy. So just a few household items required, plus your protection tape, and you're good to go. Right, I'm going to get back in now and get this all uploaded onto my computer and edited for upload. Once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this and my other videos, and in doing so helping support this channel. It's starting to rain now. I do appreciate it. I'd also appreciate if you'd leave a like, hype this video, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. We'll of course be back on Friday, so until then, ride safely and I'll see you soon.